Welcome to Miss Market Uptrend. This week we'll focus on four big news. The first one is China's rebound is the biggest unknown facing oil markets, IEA chief says. Currently, oil markets are balanced, but producers are awaiting signals on forthcoming demand from the world's second largest economy and largest crude oil importer. For me, the biggest answer to the energy markets in the next months to come is from China, Biro said, noting a major drop-off in the country's oil and gas demands during its pandemic lockdowns. In its latest monthly oil market report published Wednesday, the energy agency said it anticipates global oil demand will pick up in 2023, with China accounting for a substantial portion of the projected increase. The second news is 3 more interest rate hikes could come this year, top bank says. Goldman Sachs and Bank of America say they expect the U.S. Federal Reserve to raise interest rates 3 months times this year, lifting their estimate after data pointed to persistent inflation and a resilient labor market. Producer price accelerated in January by the biggest margin in 7 months, according to data on Thursday, while Labor Department report showed the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits unexpectedly fell last week. In light of the stronger growth and firmer inflation news, we are adding a 25 BP rate hike in June to our Fed forecast for a peak funds rate of 5.25% to 5.5%. Goldman Sachs economist led by Hajizius said in a note dated Thursday. The third news is the government of Vietnam plans to extend principal and interest to disadvantaged real estate enterprise. The objective is to remove difficulties and obstacles, especially in terms of institution, implementation, organization, and capital for the real estate market, including removing obstacles in legal regulations and other procedures, as well as organizing the implementation of projects, especially related to investment, land, and construction. Focus on removing obstacles for ongoing projects to be complete soon, creating supply for the market, removing difficulties in credit capital bonds, open up capital flows, and create liquidity for the market. Accordingly, in order to ensure funding for social housing development, it is proposed that the National Assembly and the government set aside credit package of about 110,000 billion Vietnam dong, equivalent to about 10% of the capital needs of the period 2022 to 2030, to be granted to commercial banks to lend to social housing projects and worker housing by refinancing method like the 30,000 billion Vietnam dong package that has been immediate very much. While in the previous 2013 to 2016 period, in particular, for project investor, about 50% of the credit package, equivalent to 55,000 billion Vietnam dong of preferential loans, spent about 50% of the credit package, equivalent to 55,000 billion Vietnam dong for individual customers who are buyers, renters, and home buyers. Along with that, focusing on implementing the government's resolution on the socio-economic recovery and development program, which lists projects, reviews land funds, completes legal procedures, select investors to implement social housing projects, housing workers in industrial parks, renovating and rebuilding apartments. And the last news is foreign investors turned net sellers for the week of February 13th to 17th, where is the focus. Like previous week, foreign transactions were a minus point in the week of 13th to 17th of February, when turning around to sell a net of nearly 400 billion Vietnam dong after 5 trading sessions, of which a net sale of 427 billion Vietnam dong on the order execution channel and a net purchase of 34 billion Vietnam dong agree. Thus, after 4 consecutive weeks of net buying, foreign investors have turned around to sell net on the Vietnamese stock market. In terms of H stock code, STB Bank shares the strongest net sellers this week with a value exceeding 300 billion Vietnam dong, focusing mostly on the order execution channel. Besides, other codes such as DXG, VIC, VHM also net sold in the past week. The value is over 100 billion Vietnam dong at each token. In contrast, foreign cash flow record the strongest net buying value in PVD, oil and gas stock with a value exceeding VND 86 billion. In addition, foreign investors this week strongly gather HPG, MSM, KBC shares. And that's the end of the news this week. Please subscribe and like this video. Thank you.